Hello and welcome to the Hockey Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. I'm your host, Ryan Gilbert, and I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, Joel, the NFL draft expert, Meyer. How are we doing tonight, Joel?
I feel relieved. That's how I feel. I mentioned last show, you got all this money from the NFL futures coming in, didn't withdraw anything, hardly anything. And then today, I bet like a half of it on the draft. And to give some context, there's over 300 units on all the win total, point totals, the make playoffs, the division stuff. And I wagered more than half of that just on something that's settled in the space of 3 hours. So my heart rate was fucking pumping, in the fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh picks. Because if something goes crazy there, then I'm fucked. And all the work that I did during the NHL season goes down the drain because a couple weird trades, somebody does something bizarre and the whole order goes fucked, then I'm fucked. And just getting through that first space, everything was chalky, everything worked out. It was a massive relief. I could enjoy the rest of it knowing that I would come out on top, and that's what happened. And everything else was just cherry on the top. It was beautiful. I mean, it didn't get any of the long shot stuff like the Shark. Now you had Jared Verse 55-1, Xavier Worthy 16-1 to the Niners, and that would have happened too if the fucking Chiefs didn't jump them in the draft order, and the fucking Bills traded out of it, and then the Chiefs could snag Worthy. I'm pretty sure that the Niners would have picked Worthy there. That was a 16-1 thing that we lost out on, but all the chalky stuff hit. The under 5.5 cornerbacks is a dream. Under 4.5 ACC was beautiful. A little bit of sweat at the end there with the wildcard Panthers coming up at the 32nd pick. The South Carolina, for like a half a second I was like, they're not ACC, not fucking SEC. That was man. I'm so fucking relieved. It's going to be great to finally withdraw all the money from my accounts tomorrow, and hopefully I didn't lose any of them because I was smashing like Drake May minus 300 when all the other books like a minus 1200, minus 1500 when it's skyrocketing. So there's a chance that I lost that account, but otherwise I think I should be good. Gonna be a rich man tomorrow, man.
I mean, that's worth it. If you got minus 300, it was up to minus 1,000 elsewhere. Yeah, it seemed like, the top of the draft went pretty standard besides the Penix pick, obviously, at 8. But
thankfully, that one didn't affect me, but that was totally off the board. Like, nobody saw that coming. Like, the big thing going into today was that the Rams are going to trade up into the top 10 to take Bowers or receiver, possibly Miles Murphy. But nobody saw the Falcons taking Penix. Even Kirk Cousins didn't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're doing down there in Atlanta. That was bizarre. Nobody saw that one coming. I surely didn't, and thankfully it didn't happen sooner. That the shock.
Yeah. Long draft there. We were planning on starting around 11 p.m. Eastern. Of course, we're starting now around midnight Eastern. Luckily, I don't work till 3 p.m. tomorrow, so I'm able to record late here. But yeah, fucking 4 hours NFL draft. I know it's a big thing for NFL fans, but the fact that they've made it such a huge event where it spans 3 days now is insane.
Part of that is the first few picks. Of course, the NFL makes the team wait, to build up the drama, whatever. Even though we already know, like most of the time, what's going to happen. But then later on, because there's so many teams like trying to trade up into the end of the first round, so the teams are just waiting to see if they can get the best offer. So that's why they took a lot of time. So we went out, a good 45 minutes longer than we usually do.
Yeah, I'm surprised they don't. Maybe next year they just do like the top 10 picks one night and then the fucking rest of the first round another night. I'm sure I wouldn't be surprised if they get to that.
I do not want that, man. My heart has taken enough for this one. I can't stretch it out over 2.
Yeah, 2 hockey games tonight. I'm sure you didn't catch either of those, but
I watched the Panthers game in the second screen. Yeah. That was nice.
Panthers won 5-3. Hurricanes won 3-2 there. Sorokin got pulled after the third goal, so he might be done in New York. We'll see what happens there. But both of those teams are up 3-0. The 2 favorites in the East there. Here, make sure you subscribe to the Hockey Gaming Podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple. Leave us a 5-star rating and review. Get all that good stuff out of the way. And follow us on Twitter at HockeySGPN. Got the Panthers win, Canes win. Got 4 games here on Friday we're going to get into. Then we're going to be back Friday night. Talon should be joining us then. He did get called into work tonight, so he was unable to join us. But it should be a good time on Friday night there. Yeah, you have any big takeaways from either Wednesday night's late games, Vegas going up 2-0, or Kings tying the series, or tonight's games?
Yeah, yesterday was not fun. Yesterday night, Stars, pitiful performance there. Oettinger was great. Like, I thought if we got a good Oettinger game, the Stars would win, but no, they played much worse than they did in the first game. And yeah, the Knights are just, they're solid, they're consistent, they're elevating their game for the playoffs. Like, this is not the team that we saw for most of the regular season. That's how they get it done. It's encouraging, I guess, that Oettinger played well. If we get that Oettinger, the Stars still have a chance in the series. But going down 2-0, and you got to play 2 games on the road in Vegas, it's going to be tough. They need game 3. Obviously, when they go down 3 games, they're toast. But it's going to be huge winning this one in Vegas. Kings, Oilers. Honestly, I was pretty drunk last night, but I didn't see too much of this one. No, I got a bone to pick. Here's what happened to me last night. I went to a restaurant after that game. That fortunately, the Kings ended early. I mean, not fortunate the Kings won, but fortunately that it ended early, so I can actually go to a restaurant. I show up there at 10:30. They tell me it's a 40-minute wait. They close at midnight. Okay, fine, 40 minutes, whatever. I'll go get a beer at the park. I come back. And they said the kitchen's closed. If I can maybe wait that whole time, I couldn't fucking eat, so I went to bed like a beggar boy, empty stomach. That sucks. But as for the game itself, Kings are a resilient team. They bounced back. They played a much better game than game 1, that's for sure. Oilers just couldn't get it going. They had limited power play opportunities, if I remember correctly. I didn't see them getting too many chances offensively. So if they're not getting it done on the power play, then it's going to be a struggle for them, because the Kings are still a good 5-5 team, and if they get the goal scoring, like Kempe's been very good for the Kings in the first 2 games. I know, weak goal by Skinner allowed on Fiala, I believe. The Oilers, they shouldn't be in too much trouble. They are still a far superior team, but it's never good when you lose a home game this early. And the other one, fucking right, the Bruins, Boston, getting it done there. Apparently Nylander has migraine issues, so that he might be still a few more days. But Bruins were resilient again. Swayman is awesome. Matthews was kind of invisible, like we've seen in previous years. Like, he wasn't the dominant force we saw in the first 2 games. Bruins were very good, I thought. Not nothing too flashy, but they just find a way, like I said in the other show. And Swayman was brilliant again. I mean, if you're getting that kind of goaltending performance, it's easy to win games.
Yeah, it should definitely be his net now. And tonight, Bob was good again in net against the Lightning. Anderson made some great saves against the Islanders. So Anderson it's going to be Anderson for the Canes. Like, it's going to be if he's going to show up or not in the playoffs, if he can stay healthy. Yeah,
I saw he made a nice glove save there towards the end there to keep it at 3-2. So
yeah. All right, we got 4 games here on Friday. Let's just get right into those here. Kicking things off with the 7 p.m. time slot. We have the New York Rangers at the Washington Capitals. Game itself is in Washington. Rangers are -175. Capitals are +145. Over-unders at 5.5. Both the over and under paying off at -110. Rangers to sweep are at +152. Joel, what are you thinking for this one?
Yeah, I think you said the price was +170 on the previous show. And I said that was not a great bet. Apparently the market disagrees, because they're getting bet to sweep the Caps here. Kind of like the Capitals here to take one of these games. It's just Lindgren has not been good. We said this in the previous show. And if they're not getting the goaltending, the Capitals are going to be fucked. I know that they have a lot of experience back there and a lot of will to win. But if they're not getting the saves from Lindgren, then it's hard to see them win this year. So Shesterkin's been fine. Not elite, but he hasn't been letting the easy ones in for the most part. And the Rangers haven't been too impressed by them so far. And I think the Capitals can win one of these home games. I need a bigger price than +145. I'm definitely not laying the Rangers here at -175. If anything, I would take the under 5.5, maybe bounce back game from Lindgren playing at home, a little bit more familiarity with the playoffs. and a couple days off between games maybe helps them reset. So if anything, I'd bet the under 5.5 here. Lean to the Capitals, but I would need a bigger price. Like if you get like a plus 170 or something like that, then I'd take a swing on the Caps.
Yeah, I completely agree with all of that. I would want to bet the Caps here, but plus 145 is just not big enough there. Dueling to the under 5.5, minus 110. I could see them, clogging things up, getting a good game out of Lindgren. Looking at like how to bet this in the series wise, you can get over 5.5 games at plus 240, which is this, if the Caps need to win 2 games for that. I don't know if they're going to do that. Maybe bet the Caps this game and then again next game if they lose, just because I don't think they'll get swept. I think they'll win one of these home games. They split the season series, won both at home 4-0 and 3-2. So both of those went under. So yeah, if you're betting this game by game, I'd just bet the under 5.5. But yeah, I think the Rangers still take this series, but I think it not necessarily going to go up 3-0 or not necessarily be a sweep, because I think the Capitals will be able to steal one of these home games here. So if I had to bet the game, it would be the Capitals plus 145, but it's not big enough for me. All right, we are brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. The playoffs are here, and Underdog Fantasy wants to make it a lot more interesting. Underdog Fantasy is the easiest place to play fantasy sports. Playing the pick'em game is as simple as selecting higher or lower on any player stats. You can make entries of all hockey, mix and match across your favorite sports to win up to 100 times your money, and it's a ton of fun. Underdog's available in 30 plus states, and now in Florida, they just lost champions, their player versus player format. So make sure you sign up with promo code HGP at underdogfantasy.com or on the Underdog Fantasy app. And Underdog will double your first deposit up to $100. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code HGP. All right, going to the 7:30 game here. We got the Vancouver Canucks at the Nashville Predators. Game itself is in Smashville. Predators are minus 115. Canucks are minus 105. Over under is at 5.5. Over paying off minus 125 with the under at plus 105 here. I'll take this one here. I'm kind of toss up here for this series because I saw that something tonight. Demko might be out for the entire playoffs, which would not surprise me. So then I do lean to the Predators, but I don't know. Their depth definitely scares me a little bit. But they're back at home here, minus 115. I think that's probably the way I would have to go here. Maybe bet them for the series if I can find what that is real quick. For the series, they're minus 104. So yeah, probably whichever team you like for this game, probably just take the series at minus 105 there. For Nashville, I think they're pretty good at home, 23-16-2. Vancouver, 23-14-4 on the road. So both 23-18. But without Demko, I can't be very confident in the Canucks. And they didn't really get any offense going in game 2 either. The shot totals were 18-15 in Vancouver's favor. Nashville winning 4-1. Ton of block shots there. So see Nashville coming out at home, winning this one, minus 115. And I do like the under 5.5 at plus 105 there. See Saros putting up a good game. Vancouver can't really get too much going. So I like that.
Yeah, the under is a good look, but we got the good Casey DeSmith game. I don't think that he was bad at all in the game 2 there. Of course, both teams are excellent defensively, and they're both playing like they're elite defensive teams, especially 5-5. Neither power play is particularly good. You mentioned Pettersson. He has been brutal so far. He missed a wide open net there in game 2. So, yeah, we got the good DeSmith game, and the rest of the team couldn't bail him out. It wasn't his fault the Canucks lost that one. And I don't know if we'll get the same kind of DeSmith rest of the series. We've seen that when this guy gets a run of games, when Demko was hurt the first time, he didn't perform over the long run. So, yeah, that's why I do like the Predators to win the series. First game at home here, minus 115. That's the way I would look. Again, not strongly betting these games. These is when the market is the most efficient, right? So it's not like you're going to find like these off prices. Like we know what the teams are right now. So it's just about finding a certain angle and attacking it, I guess. And if I would have to attack an angle, it would be that DeSmith does not play as well as he did in game 2 and bet the Predators that way. That's the only way I would look. But that said, I would only bet the under here if Saros has been outstanding, and the Predators defense has been they've been elevating their game as well. So if you get a 6 there, like a -110 flat 6, that's the way I would look. I would not bet the under 5.5, even at +105 here. But yeah, I could easily see like this one screams overtime to me though. Like a 3-2 Preds win would be my look. That's a +320 for the draw. I do think that we'll see the rest of the series pretty close games going forward. Like for the first 2 games were pretty close. Either one of them could have gone to overtime. So I think this one kind of screams draw here. A nice price there, but yeah, I do think the Preds win this series.
Yeah, you can get 2-2 at 11-1, 3-3, 12-1. There is an under 6 -114 available at Bet Rivers and Bet Parks and all those can be books if you're watching live and want to hit that. All right, going down to the 10 p.m. time slot, we have the Winnipeg Jets at the Colorado Avalanche. Game itself is in Colorado. Avalanche are -175. Jets are +145. Over under is at 6.5. Both the over and under paying off -110. Jolie, can your Avs keep it going at home?
Well, I'm going to start off by saying that fuck the Golden Knights.
Yes.
The thing is, I do not want them to come out of the West. I need somebody to take them down. I bet a little bit. Our friend Gorgane, he found a 20-1 on the Panthers and Knights to make it to the final. That was the matchup. So I bet some of that. I think Talon bet that months ago at a much better price, I'm sure. So I've got that, a little bit of that. That's my only Knights exposure so far. Might have to add more with when Scotty Scheffler is a newborn dad or a new father. His kid finally gets birthed. But yeah, for now, I don't want the Knights to go anywhere, and I think the Avalanche have a much better chance to take them down than the Jets do. We just saw the Knights just steamroll the Jets after losing the first game, and the Knights played terribly. And the Avalanche do have they have an A game that can actually beat the Knights. They need to do it over like 3 or 4 game stretch, but if they do that, then they can take him down. They'll get Druin back presumably, and maybe even Landeskog. You never know. He's still on the radar. Possibility in the second round. Long shot, of course, but yeah, that's my hope for the Avalanche to take the Knights down in the second round. So I got Jets to win the series. So in that case, it'd be like a short-term win, but it might just be a Pyrrhic victory before they get steamrolled by the Knights, because they are heavily favored to beat the Stars now. But yeah, it's kind of like I'm back on the Avs now for betting and emotional reasons. So that's where I'm at in terms of the long term. I -175 though. You're paying a big price. I know the Avalanche have been awesome at home this year, really for the past few years, but that's a big price to pay. And yeah, but the Jets haven't been really great this series. Like the Avalanche were a better team in both games, but it's just because the fucking Georgiev was terrible in game 1, and that's why they lost 7-6. But game 2, he was okay. Like he responded, and I like to see that. So if we can get some, B-level goaltending from Georgiev, I think the Avalanche can win this game. I just think -175 is a bit too high of a price here. So maybe take a little bit of the regulation, because we're seeing this as a kind of like a higher scoring series. So it could be some more variance that way. The over 6.5 though is too high for a playoff game, even though again, we're seeing a lot of power plays. But yeah, I think that the Avs are they're back in it. I've got more faith in them than I did at the beginning of the series. Let's just say that much.
Do you think Avs -156 for the series would be the way to look here if you like the Avs game 3?
Yeah, I'd rather have that than the -175 for this game.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can't bet against the Avs at home, especially here in the playoffs with how Hellebuck has looked. He's just hasn't been the same goalie in the playoffs this year or last year. Ever since a few years ago, he had a good round, but he just hasn't been the same since then. Love the over here, over 6.5 -110. 7 goals last game, 1 empty netter, but still 13 goals the first game. Most of the meetings, or 4 straight meetings now, went over. And both teams were 0 for 3 on the power play last game. So if you see 1 or 2 power play goals there, this easily goes over. Georgiev probably will allow at least 2, more than 2 again. He only allowed 2 in game 2, so could see a 4-3 game here, maybe a 5-3, something like that for the Avs. Don't hate them on the puck line here, +145. But yeah, -175 is a bit too steep. Like that over 6.5. Maybe ladder that up if you think it's going to be a really high scoring game with the alt total there. Do like quite a few props in this game. Lehkonen point -140. Kyle Connor
playoff
point.
warrior. Lehkonen
Yeah,
always
yeah.
screws up for this time of
He's
year.
been great. Yeah. Kyle Connor point -175. Connor 2 points +280. Velarde's been good on the top line. He's only -106 to get a point. Mark Scheifele -166. So yeah, that's the way I'm looking here. A lot of props there. Lehkonen shots on goal as well, over 2.5 +105. So I think it's going to go over. So playing a lot of shots and points and assists and goals and all that stuff there. But yeah, I think the Avs at home, it just comes down to goaltending. As we said, Gorgiev against Hellebuck is going to be comes down to that.
Speaking of Colorado, how about my Nugs? The Denver Nuggets once again coming back from behind. This one is not even they didn't even take the whole fourth quarter to do it. They've been leading for most of it, I think. The whole fourth quarter. And it looks like they're gonna beat the Lakers here to go up 3-0. That's beautiful. Get the Lakers out of here. Let's go Nuggets.
You see the 50 burger by Joel Embiid with he's got Bell's palsy too. It's the Bell's palsy game.
What's that?
It's like his like half of your face is like paralyzed. It like feels like you're having a stroke and stuff. It's just Apparently only lasts like a week or two. So that's why he's like his face has been all weird. He's been wearing sunglasses and stuff.
The Bell's palsy bounce.
Yeah, apparently, yeah. Big 50 burger there to get back in the series.
Nice. Yeah, take down the Knicks, please.
Yeah. All right. We are also brought to you by what we got here. We have the football contest proxy. If you're thinking of entering the Circa Survivor or Circa Millions contest, but don't live in Nevada, no problem. Very easy to hire a proxy to submit the picks for you each week for your chance to win millions. You do have to sign up in Las Vegas and then submit your picks every week via proxy. We've partnered up with the gold standard of proxies over at footballcontestproxy.com. Plus, if you use the promo code SGP at checkout, you'll save $50 off the proxy fees. That's right. Just go to footballcontestproxy.com. That's footballcontestproxy.com. Promo code SGP to get $50 off. All right, go down to the final game on the docket here at 10:30. We have the Edmonton Oilers at the Los Angeles Kings. Game itself is in Los Angeles. Kings are +110 on the money line. Oilers are -130. Over-under is at 6.5. Over paying off -102 with the under at -118 here. I absolutely love the Oilers in this game. They're still heavy favorites to win this series, -175. Yet somehow they're only -130 in this game here. So I don't quite understand that price discrepancy. I don't think the Kings can keep the Oilers in check 2 games in a row. Dylan Holloway was the big star for the Oilers in game 2. So I see Edmonton going in to LA here, putting up a handful on the board, at least, over 6.5. Love that here as well. -102 is probably the better bet than the Oilers, but I do think the Oilers get it done at -130. They've beaten this team in the playoffs each of the past 2 seasons. Yeah, as you mentioned, when talking about this game at the top of the show, like it comes down to Stuart Skinner. If he's gonna be decent in net, they're going to win. If he's going to give up a few shit goals and the Kings, keep it close, then it's going to be tough for them. But, overtime loss in game 2, so evened up the series. But I don't like the Kings here at all. So give me the Oilers -130, the over 6.5 at -102. I got some props as well for this one, I believe. Let me scroll and find them. Maybe I don't. Maybe I don't have props for this one. So that's Arvidsson shots over 2.5. And Vincent Desharnais block shots over 1.5 at -175.
Yeah, I am not going to dispute any of that. -130, I think, is a great price for the Oilers. I think that this is disrespectful to them. They're a far better team, and they've historically, crushed the Kings. They took 6 or 7 games to do it the past 2 years, and they won the series 3-1 in the regular season this year. Yeah, -130, it's too much respect for the Kings' first home game or whatever. I don't know. They weren't brilliant in game 2. They just Skinner had a couple weak ones, and yeah, like the Kings capitalized on it. That's the way they're going to have to win these games, like in the close games. So, you know what? I think that the way to play this would be the Oilers on the puck line +185. Because if the Oilers win, they typically win by these big scores, and the Kings sneak out these little ones. So I would do the Oilers puck line, money line if you want, but I think the +185 is a better price there, considering the way the Oilers play. If they get rolling and scoring, McDavid's firing, Draisaitl's firing, Hyman's firing another fucking hat trick or him in game 1. guy cannot be stopped. Yeah, so there's a long tail for the Oilers to win by 2+ goals. So plus 185. I think that's the way to play this one. And yeah, I do think that they win the series, likely in 6. Kings probably win one of these home games. I could see them winning the 4th game. Maybe you look at the Kings in that spot, but no, after an Oilers loss like that, they were down in the game, but I thought they were still, the marginally better team in that one. That was like a C- game for them. And we had a couple of bad goals by Skinner. I don't think that it'll be quite that bad in this one. So yeah, give me the Oilers here. -1.5 for the series, whatever, all the future stuff, as we mentioned a number of times, and lean to the over 6.5, but no, I'm not touching that. I think that the total is priced fairly accurately. So Oilers here to win by 2+ goals, and Oilers to win in general.
Yeah, I like that. Like you brought up the puck line, I was going to bring that up. Plus 185, plus 190. If they do win, it does tend to be by a few goals here. Shark saying in the chat, almost rather parlay the Oilers with the over than take the puck line. That's plus 240. Oilers and over 6.5. Because I wouldn't be surprised to see an overtime game. I think 3 of the 6 games last year went to overtime, so that could be worth a look too. What's that? That's plus 330.
That makes a lot of sense. Like typically, in both hockey, college football, basketball, a lot of the times the over is correlated with the favorite and the under is correlated with the dog. So that works in Sharks' favor there. So yeah, you could do the over 6.5 with the Oilers money line or the puck line, something like that. Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, and you said Oilers in 6. I like that. And looking at the price, plus 330. I think that's that's kind of tasty there.
You got to win the game on the road, though. That's the problem with that. You got to win the 6th game in LA. But I do think that's probably the likeliest one.
Yeah. I mean, Oilers in 7 right now is just 3-1 as the best odds. But I don't think it's going 7. I don't think the Kings can.
Yeah, I'd rather take the 4-1 at 4-1 plus 400 4-1 in the series.
Yeah, I think the Oilers here are going to be in a good spot, but obviously they have to win this game 3. Let's look at a few how the cup odds are looking here after tonight's games. Panthers, obviously.
Oh my lord!
Oh, Hurricanes plus 380, Panthers plus 450, Rangers 7-1.
Wrong team favorite.
Both 750. You like Panthers there plus 450?
Of course I do. Panthers are winning it all, baby.
Yeah, but Bob showing up tonight and them just completely, taking down the Lightning. It does seem like it might finally
be arrested. Like they went to the Stanley Cup Finals after getting beaten the fuck up by the Bruins last year, and they just cruised through the Leafs, cruised through the Hurricanes, and now they're gonna be like getting rested, and they're not going to be dealing with the same kind of injuries and shit that the Bruins or the Leafs will have after their war. I'm sure that series will go 6 or 7. So yeah, Panthers should win, if not the 2nd game in Tampa, then the game at home in Sunrise. So Panthers will definitely be the more rested team, and they won't have the scars that the Bruins or the Leafs will have. And then, of course, the Hurricanes likely playing the Rangers in their series. That one's going to go 6 or 7 almost all the time. So they'll be tested too. So the Panthers were rested here. Love this. That's why I mentioned at the top of the show, Panthers and the Knights to meet in the final, 20-1. You can find that at Bovada or Bodog for us Canadians, another offshore there. I think that I like that matchup. I'm sure that it's available at other books too, but that's the one that I got to look at. Yeah, shout out to Skydiver here. I mean, I was shitting on the Panthers all last year, and this guy was going against me all the time because he just loves those stupid expansion teams, the southern teams where there's no ice, there's no snow. But we're on the same page this time now. Let's go, Sky.
Yeah. I hit that a while ago. You can parlay Panthers. You said Panthers Knights as the matchup.
Yeah.
You get that at 13 plus 1370 at FanDuel, 13-1 there. Which is not horrible, but yeah.
Well, Panthers won of the game since I bet it, so that makes a little bit more sense. Yeah. I know Ken Barkley has Panthers to beat the Knights as his exacta in the final. Some crazy plays, of course.
I could very, very easily see that happen. It's wild to see the Hurricanes so low, plus 380, knowing what they've done the past few playoffs. But I guess that's getting Gunsel, getting Kuznetsov, getting those guys, and getting Anderson healthy and fresh.
You watched the game today. Was Getzel more impactful than the first 2 games? Did you see?
I was more so having the Canes game on my second screen. I had the Lightning game on my first screen, so I wasn't seeing like which players, but so I couldn't tell you. But I don't think he did too much tonight. It was a lot of the Aho scored one. I think a lot of the grinders got there. There was a point during the Panthers game second period where the Lightning were giving the Panthers some trouble getting in front of Bob there, and I was getting a little bit worried. But Bob's been looking good. Anderson's been looking good, so I'm trusting those 2 goalies.
For sure.
All right. Anything else you want to touch on here before we just close out a short one here?
The Conn Smythe. Let's have a look at that.
Conn Smythe. Let me get up the one that I can compare.
See if McKinnon is still 20-1. I might have to bet that somewhere.
McKinnon is still 20-1. It's at Caesar series. 18-1 DraftKings, 17-1 Canby, 15-1.
Okay, well the Avalanche, they haven't played since we talked, right? Am I fucking losing my mind?
No, I don't think so. Right? They play tomorrow.
They did get bet. Remember, McKinnon was 20-1 last night, or when we did the show. So that makes sense that he's getting bet, but maybe not enough. Still 20-1 there at that one book. So I think McKinnon is the best look if you want to play the Avs for sure. He's the force this year. We've seen what he's done. He's carrying this team on his back. And McCarr's been brilliant the first 2 games, but in the case of a tie, they're going to give it to McKinnon, given what he's done in the regular season, and given the fact that McCarr won the first one when the Avs won the Cup a couple of years ago. So if you want to play the Avs, McKinnon for the Conn Smythe would be my favorite look. But I'm looking at those Panthers. I don't know, Reinhart, Verhaeghe, guys like that down the board. Barkov, I think he scored today, right? So.
Barkov 35-1. I like Kachuk.
Yeah, he went down. Why the fuck is he going down? He scored today, didn't he?
I don't think Barkov got one. I'm not. Kachuk, Reinhardt, Montour, Lorentz, and then Kachuk again.
Okay, all right. I guess he's not getting the points or the goals, but 35-1 is still interesting for Hagee. Still 35-1. That OT winner.
He had 2 assists tonight. Yeah, I like that.
For Hagee is only behind. What did I hear? I can't remember the first player, but he's only behind Joe Sakic and one other guy for the most OT goals in the playoffs. So Verhaeghe is on a brilliant trajectory. So if he keeps that up, like voters are going to pay attention to that, and of course he's going to get more minutes now with Bennett out for the next few games at least. So Verhaeghe is interesting.
I don't know. Florida, I feel like is like a Vegas situation last year where someone could like a Marshall, like I don't know who the Marshall type would be, but someone could just come up big in the final and win it.
You said Kachuk scored twice today?
Kachuk one empty netter, but
that's fine. 20-1. That's the guy.
That would be my look right now. 20-1 for Kachuk. If you want to look at the Knights though, Jack Eichel 28-1. He kind of got shafted for it last year. If they win it again, he's leading the way for them. But I can't see the Knights winning it again. I don't know if I can bring myself to bet any Vegas concept.
No. I mean, just wait it out. See what happens in the final series, because even then, like, we got some crazy prices on Eichel and Shea Theodore, I believe, and Aiden Hill, and those guys all had a shot. Like Marshall didn't run away with it, and I don't think that he should have won even. So you can wait on those guys. I think Kachuk has a legitimate case because they're also he's in the memory of the voters too from what he did last year. So Kachuk is certainly I think the best look for our winner, the Florida Panthers.
Yeah, Hurricanes is still up in the air. Aho 17, Gensel 18, Anderson 20.
Gensel makes no sense to me. He's done nothing through 3 games.
I like Svechnikov at 50-1. He has 3 goals, I think.
Seth Jarvis keeps dropping. Fuck.
Oh, did you see the
major FOMO?
Did you see the Seth Jarvis injury scare today? He had like a hand injury at the end of the first period, but he came back for the second. I'm not sure if that's going to be something that hampers him though.
Oh, if Seth Jarvis wins on my puck box win 140-1, and I've done nothing on it, I'm gonna be so fucking pissed.
I don't know. I think if it's Carolina, it's gonna be Anderson though, unless it's higher scoring games. I don't see that happening. But that's not something, as you said last night. Like, this is probably still too early to invest too much in Conn Smythe.
Yeah. Look at longer odds, and obviously you wanted to take players from the team that you think you'll win. No Conn Smythe winners come from losing teams since Jaguar with the Ducks way back when.
Yeah.
I think 20 plus years ago. So yeah, just back a team. That's why I said Panthers are going to look. Yeah, I don't love the Avs to win the whole thing, but at 20-1, McKinnon's a lot better than the 9-1 price for the Avs.
Yeah.
So that's the reasoning there.
Yeah. Same thing with Pasternak. You said last night he's 30-1. The Bruins are 10, 11-1 to win the Cup. So
yeah,
3 times.
I don't understand why he's dropping so much. Yeah, sure, he hasn't done much, but they're up 2-1 in the series, and that what you do in the Stanley Cup Finals and in the conference finals makes a lot more difference than what you do in the first 2 rounds. So Pasternak is far more appealing there at 30-1. But like I said, I think the Panthers get through them anyway. So I would only look at Panthers in the East.
Yeah, I'm stuck on Panthers. Panthers, Canes in the East. Unfortunately, Stars and Edmonton in the West, but I may have to branch that out a little bit. I do have some Jets. I do have some Scheifele 100-1, like stuff like that. But the West is getting wild. The wild West out there. So we'll see after the weekend.
Yes, we will. Fuck the Knights.
Yes. All right, that's gonna be it for us here on early Friday morning here on the East Coast for Friday's games. We will be back on Friday night. Once again, another late show after 11 p.m. Eastern, talking about Saturday's 4 games. We got 4 games on Saturday. So we'll get into those. Talon will be joining us for that. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at HockeySGPN. Make sure you subscribe on Apple Podcasts, leave us a 5-star rating and review, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And of course, make sure you subscribe on YouTube at the Hockey Gambling Podcast. Seeing some growth there, so we appreciate that. Get in the chat. Always a good time in the chat if you have any questions or anything. So, do all that good stuff there. I am Ryan Gilbert. You can follow me on Twitter at rgilbertsop.
Now I'm Joel Meyer. You can find me figuring out the remnants of my bets and then seeing what books made it out good and which ones I got to reload, I guess, or which ones I can't withdraw as much from, and sweating the rest of them because I still have like 7 or 8 bets pending in the final 6 rounds of the draft. So let's fucking go, boys.
All right. Good luck there. See ya.